Oh, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. Yes, sir. So today I'm giving you guys a deck profile. This is a special deck profile because this thing has been made by me from scratch, real quick. But I didn't really make it up at first. I'm gonna give some credit to the boys real quick. Matt and Tommy made the idea up real quick from the team, but I added my own spice to it. I had to add my own spice to this shit. So, you ready for this? I took this deck to locals after taking a little small hiatus from Yugioh due to work and everything like that, and I got third place with this deck. And I'm all like, this deck literally is explosive as hell. So, I am excited to show you guys everything. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. Peace. Starting things with a main deck, we are playing the P.U.N.K engine in this. We're playing double copies of Zeman, playing double copies of Foxy Toon, playing one copy of Dinomorphia, and we're playing triple copies of E.T.L.L. E.T.L.L, one card starter. Zeman is also a one card starter as well, but you rather open up the E.T.L.L than the Zeman because Zeman uses up your normal summon, where you, if you guys know the P.U.N.K plays, you go into Chaotic Ruler, and Chaotic Ruler mills you 5 cards. You add a light or a dark in it, and dark Teresia. If you add a Teresia off of this after you normal summon this, you can't really normal summon again. But with E.T.L.L, if the same thing happens and you mill the Teresia, you're able to normal summon the Teresia after doing all that. So that's really good right there. E.T.L.L gets you to the Zeman. Zeman, you pay 600 life points to get the Foxy Toon effects activates in order to send this card graveyard as cost. If it resolves, you send another card from your hand to the graveyard to summon Dinomorphia, and Dinomorphia you sync it off with the Zeman to go into your chaotic ruler, and then Dinomorphia's affecting graveyard is nuts. Being able to revive any P.U.N.K card as long as it's not a level 5. So you can either revive the Zeman, which is mainly the play of this deck, or you can revive the Foxy Toon if you're playing like the zombie vampire lord, whatever it's called. But I'm not playing this in this deck, so I might really consider playing that as well. For up next, we're playing the Dinomorphia cards. The Dinomorphia cards is what I really want to have the deck center around. So we're playing triple copies of Teresia, triple copies of Diplos, playing double copies of Fossil Dig to search out your Teresia mainly. Your Dinomorphia trap cards, you're playing Domain, Frenzy, double copies of Sonic, and one Alert, and one Brew. So Teresia, if you don't know, this card normal special summon. You could set a Dinomorphia trap from your deck to your field. Diplos, if this card is normal special summon, you could dump any Dinomorphia card from your deck to the graveyard. And if your life points are 2,000 or less, Teresia gains an extra 500, and Diplos inflicts an extra 500 to your opponent. Fossil Dig just searches whatever you need. Domain, and Frenzy, your fusion traps of the deck. So they have their own ups and downs for each of them. Or Frenzy, I kind of still rely on the Domain a little bit more due to the fact that if the branded cards are still within the format, so with Super Poly. And Frenzy, it really much limits you from using cards from your one card from your main deck and one card from your extra deck, while with Domain you're allowed to use cards from hand, deck, or field. So you can use, say as if you have the Domain, you summon Kenchijina effect, copy this, fuse whatever you want from deck and the Kenchijina from field to go for your Rexstrom. Whereas for Frenzy, you can only activate this during your opponent's main phase. You have to summon the Kenchijina and then copy the effect, use 2 more cards, one from extra, one from main to summon this, and then you might get hit with a Super Poly, which it has been drifting out of the format, but there is still very much the possibility of that happening. Sonic is your Solemn Judgment of the deck. Pay half, negate a spell or trap. Once you do, you destroy a Dinomorphia monster that you control. And the good thing about the Dinomorphia cards, all of them, including the fusions, they have graveyard effects to revive lower levels of themselves. So Teresia can revive back Diplos, Diplos can revive back Teresia, Kentragina can revive either one of these, and Rexstrom can revive the Kentragina or any of these two monsters right over here. And the alert is a monster reborn up to two Dinomorphia monsters that equal level 8. And Dinomorphia Brute is basically a DPE for the deck. Some of the staples that we're running inside the main deck, triple copies of Solemn Judgment, technically an archetype card for Dinomorphia, since it is already doing the job of having your life points to negate a spell or trap, or a summon of a monster. One trap trick, one to bump this up to 2 to basically banish a fusion. Either one of your fusion traps, just set it and you'll be able to activate it this turn. Yeah, and the fact is that once you resolve your fusion trap, you most likely will not be able to, you wouldn't need to activate any more trap cards that includes your Dinomorphia cards, because you have, first of all, trap trick already locks you into only one more trap after this, and second of all, once you get your fusion monsters on board, especially Kentragina, you're able to resolve the effect of the trap within the monster itself, so you have nothing to worry about. And double copies of Wall of Prevailing Light, basically protecting your monsters and getting your life points as low as possible. This card literally just says, yeah, get your life points as low as possible, resolve all your Dinomorphia effects, and especially the fact that we're playing a card in here known as Psychic End Punisher. Literally, your Psychic End Punisher will be getting. And we're playing one more engine in here, Eldlich engine. We're only playing the one Eldlich. You don't really rely on the Eldlich engine as much as mainly Dinomorphia. We're still playing the triple Sanguine, we're still playing the triple P.U.N.K, and we're only playing the one copy of Yugioh. Mainly these cards, you want to mill these cards as soon as you can with the Chaotic Ruler. So when I was playing just P.U.N.K Dinomorphia and I was resolving the Chaotic Ruler effect, I literally had nothing good to mill off of it, except maybe the Dinomorphia traps themselves, but honestly it doesn't really resort to all that much good resources anyway. So I just thought the idea to put in the Eldlich engine in there, and it just works out so well, where something like, and even opening this card up in your hand, like a Foxy Tune, send a Scarlet Sanguine, that is literally just incredible right there. And milling these off of the Chaotic Ruler once again is just so powerful as well. And what is a modern Yu-Gi-Oh deck without hand traps? We're playing double Ash, double Veiler, double DD Crow, double Ogre, and double Imperm. So Ash, generic, right? But Veiler, DD Crow, Ogre, if you mill any of these cards with Chaotic Ruler, you're able to add any of these cards to your hand because light and dark. And Imperm is just a really good card in general, so that's just really all there is about the hand traps. Extra deck is still pretty much a work in progress, but these are the cards that are definitely guaranteed to keep in. Playing triple copies of Dinomorphia Rexstrom. We're playing triple copies of Kentragina. We're playing Stelburia 3 of once again. So these are your Dinomorphia monsters. These are pretty much generic within a regular Dinomorphia build. And especially during this build, right now I am more reliant on these cards than synchro cards. I don't really have a lot of synchro cards except for the one and the one Chaotic Ruler, one Psychic End Punisher. Other than that, this is really all you use within the main deck, or at least from what I use from the main deck. So alright, for the first card over here, we have triple copies of Dinomorphia Rexstrom. Basically as a walking Mystic Mind for the deck. And your opponent cannot activate any monster effects with attack higher or equal to your life points. So if you have like 2,000 life points, your opponent cannot activate anything with 2,000 attack or higher on the board. So Baron Negate, there is no way that's happening, because literally 3,000 attack, you have 2k life points. And the thing is, you can activate this quick effect. You can pay half your life points, and all your monsters on your opponent's side of the field becomes equal to the life points. So if you have 1k and you pay half, all your opponent's monsters are becoming 500 attack points. Like, say as if your opponent has a monster that can play around the Rexstrom lock, you can just basically say, yeah, I'm just gonna pay half my life points, and all your monsters become the same attack, so they cannot activate any monster effects whatsoever, which is actually pretty funny to me. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can revive one level 6 or lower Dinomorphia monster, so Kenjigina or Teresia or Diplos. Play triple copy of Kenjigina, still your main monster, not the main boss monster anymore, but you still really need the Kenjigina in order to get the Rexstrom out. So Kenjigina, same thing, loses attack equal to your life points. So if you have 2k, this monster is at 2k. And quick effect, you pay half your life points, banish one Dinomorphia normal trap from your graveyard, and this effect becomes that trap's effect when activated. So you mainly activate Kenjigina's effect to copy either one of the fusion traps, which is either Domain or Frenzy, to fuse into the Rexstrom right over here. And if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can revive one level 4 or lower Dinomorphia monster from your graveyard. So is either Kenjigina or Diplo, which is either Teresia or Diplos. Stealth Bergia, this is more of a fusion fodder. So with Frenzy, you need to send one monster from your extra deck, and Stealth Bergia right now, or mostly, is being used for that fusion fodder. But if you were to summon this card, it's actually a really nice card. Something that I've learned recently, if you're face off against a Masquerade Dragon where it forces you to pay 600 to activate any card, Stealth Bergia prevents that from happening, because while your life points are 2,000 or less, you do not have to pay life points to activate trap cards or Dinomorphia monster effects. So you're basically just saying that if you have this card on board, Masquerade Dragon is just pretty much useless at this point. So Stealth Bergia, it will help you out a lot, especially the fact that Masquerade is one of the main weaknesses of this deck, for sure. And if your opponent were to activate a monster effect, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack. So say as if your opponent negated something with a Baronne, you activate this to inflict your opponent for 3,000 damage, which is actually big free damage right there. And once again, if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Dinomorphia monster, either the Diplos or the Teresia. The main two cards, synchros that you use for your P.U.N.K engine. First, the Chaotic Ruler. This card is fusion summon. If this card is synchro summon, you can escapate the top 5 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one light or dark monster. So basically, as I was saying before, you can add Teresia from this because it is a dark monster, and especially if you started off your entire combo with your copy of Italy, you can just normal summon this right after. And once again, I have mentioned that you can add either one of the hand traps right over here, since there are light and dark attributes. So literally, the Chaotic Ruler, it just boosts up your plays by a lot. And you can banish one light or dark monster. You could banish one light and dark monster in order to bring this card back, so you will be able to push big damage. And if I were to think about playing cards like the zombie vampire or whatever the hell it's called in the future, this is a level 8 as well, along with Foxy Tune. So, or even with the Rexstrom, for example, you can just do that and just mill more cards off of that if you really need to. But right now, I don't really need to do that. And with your Dino, you mainly revive your Zeoman with a level 3 and a level 8. You go into your Psychic Gen Punisher, mainly your main boss monster of the deck. Like this and Dinomorphia Rexstrom on board is literally almost unbeatable, because first of all, Psychic Gen Punisher is unaffected by any activated effects. So like no Baronne negate, literally anything you could think about that is like activated effects. So like this is not a really easy card out, and this card is unaffected as long as your life points are equal or lower than your opponent's. So even if you were to get this card out without paying any sort of life points whatsoever, and if you're tied with your opponent, you're basically still unaffected. But this is what I was meaning by before. The Dinomorphia cards have your get your life points as low as possible. So it's hard for your opponent to match up or get their life points lower to make this card affected by anything. Or with when your opponent, or whether you or your opponent goes to the battle phase, this card gains the gains attack equals to the difference of your life points and your opponent. So say as if you have a wall of revealing light, you pay like 6-7k and you enter your battle phase with this card out. This card is gaining 7,000 attack, and this is a permanent thing as well. It doesn't return back to 3,500 after that. So if you don't end off your opponent right there and then, your opponent still has to deal with an unaffected 10,000 attack monster, which is actually pretty nuts. And like I said before, Second Gun Punisher and Rexstrom really hard boarded out, especially with back row and everything like that for sure. Well, like I said before, this part of the deck is more of a work in progress. Also, it could just be replaced by anything else you want. One access code, one Dark to Dark Charmer. Dark to Dark Charmer did come up once to steal Tommy's Dingirsu, but other than that, like, it really didn't do anything else throughout the tournament. And you have one Lagyia and one Doka. Like, that's pretty much it. These 4 cards can really be replaced by anything. Like, I'm really gonna be exploring more of the synchro stuff within the future, so maybe I might replace these cards with synchro cards or anything like that for sure. And just like the extra deck, the side deck does need work as well, but I will guarantee that these cards really did do his part today. One copy of P.U.N.K. P.U.N.K was just so useful today. At my last round with Matt, literally I almost summoned the Teresia. He didn't have any monsters on board. I tried to activate the effect. He activated Gamma. So he put 2 monsters on board and cleared up my Teresia. So I was able to just special the P.U.N.K and just basically live on that. The next card, Fear of Flames. Obviously more of a staple towards this deck because of all the life points you're going to be paying with this deck right here. And triple copies of Summon Limit. Summon Limit is honestly one of the more underrated trap sub floodgates of the format. Literally, this card basically hits almost any deck that summons more than twice, like P.U.N.K Synchro, P.U.N.K Therion, like literally any sort of rogue combo deck. Like literally, Summon Limit, flip it up, you're pretty much winning that duel. Especially if you have that end board like I mentioned before with Second Gun Punisher and the Rexstrom, or even just the Rexstrom by itself is just really hard to out if you don't have the cards to out it. So these cards right here really do service justice in the deck. The rest of the extra deck, I was just playing 2 copies of Spear Mode. Why not? A lot of these decks nowadays are going back to Brave. With P.U.N.K Synchro, P.U.N.K Therion, you have so many monsters that you're going to be ending on, so why not add the Spear Mode to the deck? Raigeki and Dark Ruler no more. Full board, yeah, no, Dark Ruler, Raigeki, and then you just continue on your day with just building your board. And that's gonna be it for the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. And like I say before, and like I say for almost all my deck profiles, give me your opinions in the comments down below. Like, what cards would you play, or like, what would you change about the deck? I'll read it, I'll listen. If I don't agree, I'll just say why I don't agree. No fights going on in the comments or anything like that. And I hope to bring more videos in the future for you guys. And just maybe right after this video is posted, I might show you a smaller video of what this deck can do and its full combos and everything like that. So once again, without further ado, peace out. Have a good one. Peace.